The shuttle bus driver refused to move. It was just a noise boy and I. I looked at my watch. Fuck me, only 20 minutes till the gangway closes. We've been sat in the shuttle bus for 20 minutes already. It was the mentality of the people in Barcelona that I didn't like. Lazy, good-for-nothing fuckers. That's when I came up with a new name for the beautiful city. Bastardlona. It was a fitting name for a city like this. I went to the front of the shuttle bus and tried to tell the driver to get a move on. He just looked at me blankly. It was quite clear to me that this man couldn't understand a word I was saying. I pointed to my watch and pointed to the ship, then pointed to myself and mimed fucking. I think he got the message as he started the engine and we were on our way. The shuttle bus driver dawdled, plodding along at what felt like 50 miles an hour. I looked at my watch. Shit, we're not going to make it, I said to the noise boy. Fuckers sold us down the river, I continued to say. The racket maker looked at me and calmly said, empty your pockets and dumped everything in your bag. That should speed up getting through security. I nodded my head in agreement. We both emptied everything in our pockets into the bags. I kept my Laminex in my hand, ready to show security. I looked out of the window. The ship was getting bigger as we were getting nearer. I could see bubbles coming up out the aft end of the ship. Fuck, I cried out. The fuckers have fired up the engines. Not long to go, dude. I looked at my watch. There were 7 minutes on the clock. We were nearly back at the dockside terminal building. We passed the terminal 4, then 3, then 2. We were nearly there with 5 minutes on the clock. We passed the terminal building. Fuck this, there you go, cunt. This shit, fuck, spick, shit, shagger past the building. I shouted out. There was pure venom and foam coming out of my trap at this point. The driver took us round the car park and was taking his time to pull up to the terminal building. I stood up and walked to the front of the coach. I looked at the noise boy, he looked at me. I pressed the door over but before the bastard even stopped and we darted out. We ran hard and fast as a group of Spaniards standing outside the building blocking doors. Make a hole, I shouted. They only responded after I burst through them, leaving a few of them on the floor and a big enough gap for the noise boy to pass through behind me. I ran harder and faster and started to cough up some nicotine flavoured phlegm, but I didn't stop. I just chewed it up and swallowed it down. We arrived at security to be greeted by a group of pissed off looking Spanish security guards. They gestured to their watches to tell us we were late. If I had time I would have berated them for the fact that the driver was a cunt, just as much as they were. But this was no time to swap pleasantries. I threw my rucksack through the scanning machine, went through the metal detector barrier and came out looking at the slowest conveyor belts in the existence of the universe. All that was on my mind at that point was, for a nation that raped and pillaged South America for a couple of 100 years, why is it that they can't even afford efficient machines, or even anything else that's efficient? Fuck, even efficient people would be a start. I looked at my watch, 3.5 minutes remained. My bag was spat out of the machine like a pensioner would with his rotten dentures. I grabbed my bag and shouted to the noise boy, I'll fucking stall him, I won't let them leave without you. I darted down the terminal, my legs felt like shit. I could feel them wanting to give up. I was more determined than they were. I ignored their pain and carried on regardless. I looked out the window of the terminal building. It felt like the run of shame as you could see crew and passengers looking out at me, pointing and laughing and cheering and clapping. Motherfuckers, I thought as I ran up the escalator and my abs were now starting to give me stabbing pains. I could feel a stitch coming on. My breathing got deeper and louder. All I could think about was the need for a smoke. What was I thinking? I needed to concentrate on getting on the fucking ship. The approach to the gangway was a long one, winding back and forth to allow disabled passengers easier access. I was nearly there. I knew I didn't have any time left. I thought I was totally fucked, but I carried on regardless. I could feel the lactic acid forcing its way through the pores of my skin. Adrenaline was pumping, coursing around my whole body. I could hear people on the open deck cheering encouragement. I was slowing down. I was totally knackered, but I kept going. I could see the gangway. There were all the senior officers, all stood there waiting for me. They were not looking happy at all, but I didn't give a shit. If I didn't make it, I was on foot walking from Spain to England via France, and that wasn't going to happen. The security team ran down the gangway to greet me. I was there as they were spraying alcohol gel into my hands. I sputtered out, "Wait 2 more minutes, the noise boy is right behind me," I gargled and sputtered on those words. They nodded their heads to acknowledge what I'd asked them. I ran up the gangway and fell through the door of the ship, scanning my Laminex as I fell to the floor. I landed right on my face. I rolled onto my back so I could see everything. The captain was there, looking over me. "Sorry, sir," I choked out those words with great humility. The shuttle driver refused to move and we got here with 6 minutes hence. The captain lowered himself so he could keep eye contact. He looked at me in the eyes and just glared. I thought I was now totally fucked and he would punish me for being late. The thought of having my laminax confiscated passed my mind. I'd be sin bin for the next 2 ports if I was lucky. The captain started to speak. Well, he said, followed by a long pause. I believe you. And you guys did put the effort in by running like your life depended on it. Don't worry, you're not in trouble. That was like sweet music to my fucking ears. I slowly picked myself up from the floor to see the noise boy stumble through the door. The gangway was raised and the hatch was sealed shut.